Yesterday to the southeast, you've had a clear sky overnight.
Emergencies are unpredictable, but you don't have to be unprepared. Peak Alerts sends you targeted emergency alerts in real time for the places that matter to you most, so you know what's happening and what to do next. Know first, act fast. That's the power of Peak Alerts.
And then, my friends, good morning. It is Tuesday. It is February 3rd. You are watching Mornings with Meister live here on Peaks2Plains Weather. Thanks for doing that. I appreciate you starting your day off with me here. And a couple things that I want to say early this morning. I have a really fun story from dinner last night that I will share with you here in just a little bit. Had the opportunity to meet someone and was kind of having a day where I needed it a little bit. Some of the things that he shared with me, and it was really something that warmed my soul, and on a day I needed it was a reminder of why I do what I do. So we'll share that with you here in just a little bit. Peak Alerts are our primary sponsor for today, and if you're in El Paso and Teller counties, that is a service made possible by the El Paso Teller County 911 Authority. And I'm a big proponent of having ways to be notified, to know what's happening when there are emergencies in the area. And you should take a moment, search Peak Alerts and sign up for that. Because if there are natural disasters, if there are man-made things that happen, chemical spills, things like that, evacuations, they will let you know about that. So thanks to them for partnering with Peaks2Plains Weather. Let's do a little bit of weather here real quick. early this morning to get you out the door. If you're about to jump out, want to say good morning here to Pueblo, starting our day off, looking at 16 degrees. Feeling like 9 with just a little bit of a breeze. No travel issues out the door this morning. Temperatures as cold on this map as 4 in Gunnison. You can see the big mountain valleys holding cold air. That's pretty typical this time of year. Warm spots up against the foothills where we're running in the mid to upper 20s. But if you remember yesterday, we had some 40s. So not doing that this morning at all. And we do have some teens and 20s out across the plains behind a cold front that came through yesterday. And that is going to impact our numbers a little bit later on today. Good morning in and around Colorado Springs as well. We're sitting at 20 at the Air Force Academy here as we get our day underway. Quick look at the day planner. Temperatures will start to drop in the afternoon. The wind will pick up as I have another cold front that's on the way to southern Colorado. And that one is going to produce some impacts here. And so I'll come back to that in just a second. But first, I want to share the story with you from last night. And I want to introduce you to Dave. This is Dave. We were out at BJ's Brew House at UVC, so on North Nevada in Colorado Springs. It was my daughter's birthday, as you heard yesterday. She turned 18, can't believe it. And Dave and his wife were having dinner, Michelle. And Dave, looked over a couple times and then kind of turned around and he held up the Peaks2Plains Weather app on his phone and kind of smiled at me like you are seeing right there. And I went over to him, I said hello, and Dave worked in Aurora for, he said more than 20 years. And he was a police officer there. And he told this story of, and he actually showed me on his phone like this, like the little places you can put a bunch of different apps that do the same thing. And he showed me some different weather apps. And he's like, I never use these things because when you are around, when I had to drive over the Palmer Divide, I always knew what was going to happen from you. And so he said, thank you for that. And he was always ready and was just very grateful and was telling me congratulations about Peaks2Plains Weather and that he has the app and he's using it. And his wife, Michelle, was saying how much she loved it. So thank you for saying hello. They were a little worried about interrupting because they knew it was Whitney's birthday because they had watched in the morning. But I had a day where I needed that yesterday. So thank you so much for sharing that. And it's good for me to know that, what I'm doing makes a difference. So I'm so grateful for that, Dave. And I appreciate you taking the time to share that with me. All right, let's do a little bit of weather here. High temperatures yesterday. Did it feel like 54 in Colorado Springs? Did it feel like 62 in Pueblo? Man, I hammered over the weekend how it was going to not feel as warm as the thermometer said yesterday. We actually hit 70 in Springfield. I mean, across the Front Range in the Eastern Plains, we just had thick, high clouds all day long. Here's a time lapse from Monarch in the day. You can see a little bit more maybe in the way of some blue sky here and there over some of the hills. Had a real pretty sunset, though, in Monarch. But the high clouds where they were thick, man, it just, I tell you what, did not feel very nice. Hey, here's the new thing. This is Banjo's barometer. That's Banjo. This is his window of wonder here. He's going to help me with how things feel. Because yesterday was a day where I wish I had that ready. Because, man, it didn't feel all that great. Today, Banjo and I are going with a 6. My easy to understand 0 to 10 scale of if it's going to be nice or not. Why? Well, we have more high clouds coming in from the north here. This is the next wave. This wave has a cold front with it. So yesterday, we started off with the clouds, and they stayed thick all day long. Then those got out of here, and you want to see how awesome the end of the day was? This is my buddy Shondor. He lives in my neighborhood. He has a way cooler look at the peak than I do. I'm down on a creek. I don't see the peak, but man, look. That's good living right there. That's a good man, and I tell you what, he's living a good life. Anyways, yesterday we're in the 50s and 60s, like I said, and it didn't feel like that. Early this morning, we've got high clouds coming in from the north. And the question is, what happens with this wave here in the northwest flow? Well, I want to talk about that because as we've started to see some high clouds come in, they're not all that thick yet. We are going to get a window here early this morning with more sun than yesterday. I think that makes it feel a little bit better than yesterday, and we won't see the wind until a little bit later on as well. But the high clouds will keep coming in from the north here, and we'll start to get some snow up across the mountain areas as we head into the late part of the morning, mountains west of Denver, some of the Summit County ski resorts, everybody else, we're going to stay dry here until we hit the late part of the day and the cold front arrives. So before that happens, I don't think we're as warm as yesterday, but again, might feel a little bit better, especially along and south of the Arkansas River, where it takes a little while longer for the clouds to get thick. Up across the Palmer Divide, Colorado Springs, probably staying in the 40s today. We'll have quite a few 40s over the mountain areas as well. When that cold front arrives, you'll know because we'll see the wind pick up. So as we hit the back part of the day here, notice first over the Palmer Divide, then elsewhere across southern Colorado, and even over the mountain areas as that wave comes in, the wind picks up here for the back part of the day. And in some cases, might get some gusts between 20 and 30 miles per hour. So the increasing clouds, the winds picking up, temperatures start to drop with that front coming in. You'll notice that later on today. No doubt about that. Now let's talk about overnight. Because not just this computer model that I'm showing you, and remember, what I do behind the scenes is I have about 6 to 8 of them that I can show you and that I can look at. And I pick the one that I think is going to be most representative of what's going to happen. And I present it as Skycast. But that's, it's my job to kind of give you the idea here of what's going to happen. Because some of the computer models don't have any showers. But the one I'm showing you here, it's actually the one I showed you yesterday, it's not as excited about showers. But it's so interesting. Often what happens is a couple days out or the day ahead of time, they'll kind of have the right idea. And then for some reason, I don't know what a meteorologist, sometimes they'll get on it like when the things are on the doorstep. Because it's not as sort of aggressive this evening and late afternoon with showers over the Palmer Divide as it was. But looking up to the north this morning, I kind of think what it was showing yesterday is probably going to be a little closer to reality. But the idea here, still important to talk about. See how there's northwest to southeast oriented showers? Underneath the jet with this front, I do think that that's how it's going to work out. And I'm going to tell you the exact same story I told you yesterday. Not everybody is going to get these things. But underneath them, because of that orientation and how they'll be moving, it's kind of like a train going over tracks here. If you're that spot, this shower will be over you for a while. You could get some quick reductions in visibility if that happens to be one of the heavier ones, and you might get some quick accumulations of snow. So outside of the mountain areas, it's the Palmer Divide, late afternoon and evening, and yeah, I'm talking northern El Paso County. I'm talking the interstate between Colorado Springs up through Castle Rock and Denver. And then as we head through the overnight, that north wind's going to eat that away as we're sinking from the higher parts of the Palmer Divide down to the Arkansas River. But then that wave interacts with an upslope again from the Arkansas River down to the Raton Mesa, and we'll have a chance of some showers down here. Now, can I pinpoint exactly where those are going to be? No. And if someone tells you they can, they're better than me, but they're lying. Keep that in mind here, okay? So I don't think it's going to be significant, but this is the same map I showed you yesterday. I have no reason to change it. I do think the snow on the order of a couple inches will be more organized up across the ski resorts. There might be some mountain parts that get some. And then do I think everybody in this area is going to get snow? No. Do I think everybody down here is going to get snow? Could it be a little bit farther east? Yeah, it could. It's the idea. It's hit and miss stuff. Get your sort of thoughts around thunderstorms, like hit and miss. Your neighborhood might get it. Neighborhood down the road might not. And I think you're sort of on the right track here. So that's what I'm thinking kind of as we head from late afternoon into the evening, and something I want you to be ready for. I did a push alert this morning with a detailed forecast on the Peaks2Plains Weather app. Spent lots of time writing stuff for different areas, and hopefully we have that covered. Behind that cold front, tomorrow morning, it's chilly again. We're in the teens and 20s. The wind will pull back overnight too, and then I do think tomorrow is a little bit cooler. And I'm going to talk about the extended forecast here in just a little bit, because behind that, we get some pretty nice weather again as we head through the back part of the week into the weekend. Then the pattern changes just a touch. So I'm going to get a drink of coffee. By the way, I've got in my Peaks2Plains weather mug today, which you can get actually on Peaks2PlainsWeather.com, I've got my American Classic Coffee Pikes Peak Roast in there. It's got a nice little finish. There's some, like, it's kind of sweet. I get some apples. If you want to try it out, if they have some like kind of combo packs you can order, do so. Spence is great. He roasts here in Colorado Springs. American Classic Coffee's veteran owned. You go to his website, you put Peaks into your checkout and you'll get 10% off. So there's that. Let's say hi to some people this morning. We've got Ann. She says she loves banjo. Yeah, I'm going to have fun with him. So here's what I did. I'm going to go back to that if you missed it earlier. I mean, we have a million pictures of our dog. Like, who doesn't, right? And Banjo is the love of our life. He is, little Yorkie. And I have a bunch of pictures that I've cut out of him, and I'll kind of put him in there. And so, like, when he's looking a little bit rougher on the days when maybe Banjo's barometer is down to like a 2 or something like that, I'll show the rough ones. When he's got a little tie on and he's looking all legit and proud, like those will be 9s and 10s. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with that. It's my easy to understand 0 to 10 scale of if it's going to be nice or not, because that's what I try. Like, it's a lot. It's about more than the numbers, as you know. So Jim says that the banjo barometer should go to 11. Little Spinal Tap reference there. Thank you so much. Teresa, excuse me, is watching from Weston. Thank you so much. Check this out. Mary's watching Padre, Texas. Well, Mary, aren't you lucky? Good for you. Rubbing on that. I want to share that. I have time to do it. And so that's what we're doing here on Peaks2Plains Weather. Okay, let's start talking about the extended forecast here, shall we? Because it's a little bit interesting. And so I'm going to start off here with the national kind of look, just to give you a little perspective about how things are working out. Maybe you've got some friends somewhere. And I always have to start sort of on a hemispheric level to start drilling down to where we are for our detailed forecast. You can see our system up to the north here, up across Billings this morning, and northern Wyoming. That is the one that's moving our way that I talked about. And if you are just joining us, you can get what's going to happen with that when it gets here in the Peaks2Plains Weather app. But let's take you forward into the future, because that wave's going to dive off to the southeast. Be a little bit cooler behind it. Then you see this big bump in the black lines. That's the old ridge of high pressure. High pressure in the atmosphere is low pressure for the weatherman. I like that one, my friends. But then you see some action kind of getting organized over the western U.S. And underneath that ridge, you still see the ridge there into the weekend, right? Like, I mean, this thing is still up here. We're still sitting under it. But you see this down here. That's a storm. And as we move through the weekend, we've got to watch what happens with it. And as I take you forward into the future here, what you'll notice is that we see that system kind of undercut the ridge. See how it ends up moving down across Arizona, down across Mexico there? So we're not going to see any influence from that. Then we get into early next week, and here come a couple of waves. Now, right now, see how they're kind of splitting us to the north and to the south? That puts us kind of in a meteorological no man's land. Now, I'm not going to get hung up on that. I mean, it's a week away, but that is certainly a pattern change from this ridge that we've been having around here. And I was talking about this a couple weeks ago. It's looked like that is going to be kind of what's on tap here. Like, we know this pattern change is coming. We've just got to work on the details. And so that's what I'll be doing here for the rest of the week. As that system gets closer, that'll be kind of the focus of my extended forecast, because I tell you what, the rest of kind of the week here into the weekend looks really, really nice. Once we hit Thursday in the Springs, we warm back up, and this is representative of what everybody else will get. And then I've got that pattern change coming Tuesday into Wednesday. Even if those systems miss us, our temperatures will drop back some. I have a chance of some, showers in there as of now. It's a 20% chance because I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know there's something out there to watch. So there we go. Hey, if you want to come on the show, you can. In the posts that I make for our live show here, I've got how you can join me on the show. And I've missed a couple people coming on because I get going, I get talking, I'm running the weather computer and all of that. Today, I'm going to work on when someone comes on, they jump into a place I can see, and then I'll know. So want to talk to you about that. Also want to talk to you about how you can support Peaks2Plains Weather here. Because on the website, I've got my advertising partners, and I encourage you to, when you are making purchasing decisions in town, to support the businesses that are supporting Peaks2Plains and that I am helping grow. So you can see American Classics Coffee on there, you see Bird Dog Barbecue, you see Bank of Colorado, Phil Long Ford Motor City, Ramos Law, Ameridry Restoration. And if you're like, oh, I've never heard of them, what is this? What can I do? Well, you can click on them. So like Mandy Penn Photography down here, you can read about her. She's won lots of awards, lots of best of awards from all the Colorado Springs Gazette. You can see that down there. She is great. She did a lot of the pictures that you see me use on some of the billboards that I'm using on YouTube and things like that. You can go to Twin Hounds Biscuit Company. If you have a dog that has a sensitive stomach and some treats, make them upset every now and then, they're great. They make all natural things, very few ingredients in their stuff. If you put Peaks in to check out on their website, you can get 10% off as well. Advanced Impressions, those are my friends that make my merch possible. If you'd like to do some work with them, you can go to their website and learn about them. And if you want some merch from Peaks2Plains, I've got that on there as well. This is an easy way, fun way to support what I'm doing. I've got my coffee mug on there. It's down kind of at the bottom of the screen. You could order that up. People be like, oh, what's Peaks2Plains? You can tell them about it. You can encourage them to download the app. I encourage you to download the app if you haven't done it yet. I work really, really hard to have detailed, useful information in there. It's not just the computer model of choice that I like. Like today as an example, I kind of wrote what I said to you in my forecast here about, hey, if you're on the Palmer Divide, like those people that are in there and they have their location turned on, you should keep your location turned on. They see like, hey, not everybody will get it, but you could get some quick reductions in visibility and you might get hit by a quick snow shower. So something to watch for there, okay? That is what I am working on today. I have a busy day. Hope you have a good day. Let's get a couple more hellos from folks. We've got Marilyn who says, Happy Tuesday. I agree with you. Anne says, I appreciate you. You're the best. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Nora saying, oh my goodness, I'm going to download the Peaks2Plains app. Well, thanks, Nora, and please share with your friends. I would appreciate that as we grow together. So, my friends, that is it for me today. Like I said, got a busy, busy day on tap. I'm doing some high school basketball tonight, PA. I love doing that. It's so fun for me. Love saying the names for the kids, running the music and all of that. And my friends, I appreciate you. Thanks for being part of Mornings with Meister today on Peaks2Plains Weather. Remember, you can get my forecast anytime you'd like in the Peaks2Plains Weather app. I'm pushing stuff all day long on social media if that's where you happen to do most of your action. I try to take care of you there as well, but it's better in the app. And of course, Peaks2PlainsWeather.com. We're also on YouTube. Streaming the live channel 24 hours a day. You want to pop in 10 or 15 minutes, see what's happening across the area. You're going to travel up to Denver between the Springs and Pueblo, Springs and Teller County. You're heading up to the ski resorts. I've got you taken care of there. That's it for me today, friends. Thanks for watching Peaks2Plains Weather. Have a good Tuesday.